It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. This edition of Trivia Tracks is brought to you by ProMed Ambulance Services, care you can count on, and Beth Smith at Edward Jones. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. Question: who is Frederick Kenneth Blassman? Those of you wrestling junkies will know him as Classy Freddie Blassie. Nicknamed the Hollywood Fashion Plate, Blassie is regarded as one of the greatest wrestling heels of all time. Born in St. Louis in 1918, Frederick Blassman was an only child. He had a tough early life, as his father Jacob, an alcoholic with a penchant for abuse, constantly beat his wife. Frederick found refuge in his grandparents. When his father's abuse continued, he stayed with his aunt for 6 months until his mother asked him to return home. After graduating high school, he got a job at a meatpacking plant. He was more interested in wrestling, sneaking into the matches whenever he could. As the wrestlers began to recognize him, they would teach him a hold here and there. His first match was actually a shoot fight, which he accepted in order to impress a girl he brought to the show. Upon Blassie's return from the Navy in World War II, at which time he had married while on shore leave, he wrestled as Sailor Fred Blassie to capitalize on the wave of wartime patriotism sweeping the country. But that gimmick was unsuccessful. He then worked for Jack Pfeffer, who he claimed would only employ people who looked like sideshow freaks at his shows, and whose wrestlers included Tor Johnson, who made movies for director Ed Wood, and Lillian Ellison, better known as the Fabulous Moolah. During this time, he went to New York City to work for promoter Jess McMahon, father of Vince Sr. It was early in Blassie's career that he came up with his famous pencil neck geek catchphrase to describe a fellow carnival performer known as the Geek, who bit the heads off chickens and snakes. Blassie described this geek as having a neck like a stack of dimes, and that he was a real pencil neck geek. In 1952, he began working for the NWA's Los Angeles territory under Joel Strongbow, then wrestled in Georgia between 1953 and 1960. He then returned to Strongbow's promotion, which by then had been renamed Worldwide Wrestling Associates. He was so hated there that the police were regularly brought in to protect him as he made his way to and from the ring. He concurrently found work in Japan during this period and made a couple of appearances for the WWF. As a wrestler, Blassie feuded with the Destroyer and Lou Thesz, among others. On one occasion, when Regis Philbin hosted a TV talk show in San Diego, Blassie would routinely show up to yell at the audience, throw furniture, and threaten Philbin. The confrontations were, of course, wholly kayfabe. In later years, Blassie appeared on The Mike Douglas Show when Philbin was a guest host. In the early 70s, he turned face, since so many fans were cheering his famous antics. But in 1974, he retired from active wrestling due to a California law that prohibited anyone over 55 from getting a wrestling license. Not only did he transition into a managerial role, but also reverted to heel status, joining the WWF full-time in the process. He worked for the promotion and its subsequent incarnation, the WWF, until his full retirement from wrestling in 1986. Blassie, Lou Albano, and the Grand Wizard were named the Three Wise Men of the East as the top 3 heel managers in the company. Among the wrestlers Blassie managed include Jesse Ventura, Crippler Ray Stevens, Dick Murdoch, Blackjack Mulligan, George the Animal Steele, and especially Nikolai Volkoff and the Iron Sheik, whom Blassie guided to gold when they defeated the U.S. Express for the WWF Tag Team Championship at the first ever WrestleMania. Blassie would continue to manage Sheik and Volkoff even after they lost the tag team titles. After his retirement, Blassie sporadically returned to make brief appearances. In 1994, he was inducted into the WWF Hall of Fame. His acting credits include a cameo in the 1986 movie Body Slam. On June 2nd, 2003, Classy Freddie Blassie died of heart and kidney failure at the age of 85. 1 month after he published his autobiography, Listen, You Pencil Neck Geeks. Prior to his death, Blassie remained on the WWE payroll because of his close relationship with the McMahon family. Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me for Trivia Tracks weekdays at 6:45 on Everybody's Country Y95.